Just click play, then pause.
Please.
Just with
Weekly Student Life Podcast.
Just student podcast, no life.
as long as there's enough time to get most of the question on the screen. It's not too much information, so it should work well.
And just to kind of, something that we went over this morning, this will not be a 20-minute long video. We're breaking it up into 3 distinct subjects, and it will go out during advisories.
Sure.
So, one distinct little clip on prom, one distinct unit on prom exam.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
Spencer? Call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Good morning, Merrill High School, and welcome to the Weekly Student Podcast. I'm joined here with Ben and Ian, and our special guest today is Mr. Murray.
Hi, Austin. Thanks for having me.
So we've heard a few rumors floating around about prom, and we want to know if you could answer some. Ben, could you start with the first question?
So this year at prom, who's allowed to attend it? Can we get all, because people were concerned about dates from other schools or, people outside of high school, that type of thing. So what's the deal with that?
Yeah, so a couple things. One is that this year, obviously there's like COVID restrictions, and it's a very challenging year for us on many, many fronts, including the prom. And so what's different this year is we have to get our event approved by the county. You fill out this event application, those kind of things. So one of the goals is to keep our crowd small, if possible, keep it as small as possible, and first and foremost, provide that opportunity for Merrill High School students. That was our goal. I mean, you guys deserve a prom, and you deserve all these things that you were deprived of, all year. And so the goal is to have Merrill High School kids. Now, when we started talking about how do we limit crowd size and those kind of things, of course, one of the things that we had considered and other schools have considered is limiting the amount of people that can come from outside the school. When that decision was kind of made, the unfortunate thing about prom is people plan for prom so far in advance, whether it's buying a dress or finding a date or whatever. So we are allowing some students from outside the school district to come. We're looking at those on a case-by-case basis, dates and those kind of things. But so far that number's been pretty small. And the goal is to really try to encourage it to just be Merrill High School students, because we want to be able to offer it and not have the crowd be so big, and we want to do distancing and those kind of things. So as it sits now, we have allowed some people from outside to come, and we will continue to look at those case by case.
Okay. All right, perfect. Yeah, that's really informative, and I'm sure a lot of people will be glad to know that.
Yeah, yep.
So, Austin?
This year, what does the dress code look like? Like, how formal do we need to dress? Do you have any knowledge on that?
Yeah, so the prom is a formal event, and so typically it's a dress and a tuxedo that you rent, those kind of things. And so I don't know if people get turned away for being dressed too informally. I would defer to Mrs. Griefey in the library. She kind of heads up our prom protocols, and so I would ask her, say, is this appropriate for me to wear? I want to go a little more casual, those kind of things. But it is intended to be a formal high school event. Yep.
So we've heard some rumors about ticket prices this year. So we'd like to ask you, how much does the ticket cost this year compared to past years, and what will this cover?
So you guys hear a lot of rumors here, it seems like. Thankfully you shared the questions with me in advance, and I could verify these rumors. Well, I talked to Mrs. Griefey. The ticket price is the same as it's been last year or in previous years. It's $25 per person or $40 per couple, which it's been. There are going to be some changes there. We will be providing complimentary bottled water versus in the past, I think, National Honor Society or somebody has sold it there. So the price is the same, the event's going to be the same, the music, all those kind of things. Just that we're going to be working on spacing and keeping things clean and those kind of things. So I don't think there's going to be much difference noticed, other than the fact that everybody's going to be masked up. That'll be a requirement. And we'll try to make arrangements for social distancing as best we can on how we set up the tables and those kind of things. So you shouldn't notice much difference in as far as like what goes on at the actual dance itself.
Playing off that topic about the regulations and such. So we did hear that it is going to be outside.
Yeah,
this year?
so we have a couple plans going currently. We rented a giant like wedding tent that we would have set up on the outside, but our plan A is to have it inside. And so, so if we had, and I'm just making up a number, but let's say we had a 100 by 60 wedding tent, we have a field house that is way bigger than that. And so logically, we could do more spacing and stuff in our field house, and so that's our plan A. And we're going to put that in our proposal to the Lincoln County Health Department and see which way their recommendations are. Our field house, as you guys know, is huge. It's very well ventilated. We could do much better job spacing there, but we do have a tent for an outdoor venue if need be.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So the challenge is, not to interrupt you, but the challenge here is that so many of these things as we go through the end of the school year are moving targets. And, you know, we're at the mercy of COVID and, you know, whatever. We're having a mini spike right now in Lincoln County again. You know, we were at medium risk and now we're back to high. And so who knows what that'll be like on May 22nd or May 28th for graduation or any of those kind of things. And so people would just have to be kind of open-minded and flexible, and we just got to kind of roll with it, whatever hand is dealt us at those times. And so it would be awesome to do it like every other year and say, in fact, I think prom historically would be tomorrow. In a normal year, it's usually mid-April. So it'd be great to say, yeah, this is when it is, and this is what it is, and those kind of things, but we don't have that luxury this year. So if people can be flexible, that would be awesome.
Totally understandable.
Yeah.
Where can students buy tickets?
So they go on sale shortly at the cashier's office. I think they're going to be for sale for a 1-month period. And we're starting a little bit earlier so we can get a handle on how many people are planning on going. And that will determine like where we go with the venue and those kind of things. So cashier's office, I'd say listen for the announcements. They'll be going on sale pretty soon. Yep.
Okay. Good.
Will there be a theme for prom this year?
You know, as the principal of Merrill High School, I should know that, but I don't know what the theme is, and I apologize for that. I will defer to Mrs. Griefey on that. I kind of show up and chaperone. How's that sound?
But there is a theme?
I would expect. I mean, that's kind of a prom tradition, so I'm not sure what it is, though.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to do some digging there later. But
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. So, I think is that pretty much everything for prom so far?
Are younger students, like freshmen and sophomores, encouraged to go this year?
So we've had an open prom. So, you know, a lot of schools, it's a junior prom, and in the last couple of years, we've had it open, and so we will continue to do that.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So, I think that wraps up for this subject. So now we will be moving on to.
We got that one.
Yep. So now we'll be heading to, you know, just the finals week discussion, and the first thing that I'd like to know are there going to be any changes to finals week this summer, or will it still be like at last semester, last week, or are any like major changes happening in finals week?
No major changes. We were going through that, finalizing that this morning, in fact, and so, excuse me, our school year ends on Thursday the 27th. So the 25th, 26th, and 27th are finals. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The schedule is being created, but I think it's like periods 1, 2, and 4 on the first day, 5, 6, 7, or maybe 5, 6, and 8 on Wednesday, and then Thursday we would have one final for period 9 classes. Each of those days we have a makeup exam slotted in there, so it'll be very similar to what we've done in the past. Our last day of school, which is the 27th, that Thursday, is a half day. We have about a noon dismissal that day. So we're only having one final plus a makeup period in that day. So, but I would expect it to be similar to what we did that semester or other times.
All right. Is there? How about the schedule? Like every day, what will the hours look like?
So we'll have blocks of time for each of the finals, and then we'll have that advisory lunch in the middle, so students have an opportunity to eat. So there'll be on the first 2 days 3 finals plus the advisory lunch period in the middle, and then an exam makeup period at the end. And then the last day, which because it's a half day, It's just period 9, a make-up exam opportunity, and then the lunch, and then people are dismissed. So,
All right.
All right. Moving on to graduation. So I'm a senior this year, and I know a lot of seniors have been kind of wondering on what's graduation going to look like here for students
Yep.
and for family members as well.
yep. So similar to prom, I'll give you the plan with a big asterisk after it because it's kind of pending on a lot of things yet that are out of our control. But our plan A, is to go back to the traditional graduation in the field house. And so last year we had to have a late summer, midsummer graduation in the parking lot out back, which was fine given the environment we were in. But we'd like to have it back in our field house because we're not at the mercy of weather and those kind of things. So graduation is scheduled in the Merrill High School field house for Friday the 28th at 6 o'clock. We will likely have to limit the amount of spectators that can come based on county guidelines at that time. And so it feels like it would probably end up being about 4 spectators per graduate. We will continue to do things like have the band there playing live, have the choir there, run our regular graduation ceremony as best we can, albeit with fewer people there. And so in the past, we've never had to limit the amount of spectators there. And graduation in Merrill's always been a great time, and it's just packed. We get a lot of people in there. That's a big deal. And so this year it'll be kind of limited to about. I'm guessing at this time I would guess probably 4 per graduate, four guests.
Okay.
But we hope that we can do that indoors on that day, and that would be awesome. We can get back to that. Plan B would be J Stadium on that same night, and then Plan C would be as soon as the weather breaks after that, because if we can't have it at J Stadium that night, it's because the weather's bad. So my old football coach used to say if Plan B was any good, it would be Plan A. And so let's hope it's Plan A that we go with. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No. No. Thank you for all that information. I know all these rumors, so to speak, have been floating around for a few weeks now, and a lot of people are going to be happy to finally get some light shed on these. So
yeah, and I appreciate you guys giving me the chance to kind of set the record straight. Whatever the record is, it's a moving record, but so that I want to stress that's where we are today. And if we have a big spike in our county, or if something goes down, or if everybody's getting vaccinated, or however that goes, that's still 6 weeks away. And so if people can just have an open mind and just say, we're doing it the next night at J Stadium, or however that goes, people just have to be flexible. And it's just many things are outside of our control, and we're doing the best we can to provide those opportunities for our students in a safe manner that honors COVID guidelines and those kind of things. So stay tuned. Changes might be coming, but that's where we're at today.
Yep. Heard it here first, and Murray is liable. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, call me with your complaints. Yes.
Yep. But thanks for coming in.
All right. Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. You guys, great job. Thank you again, Mr. Murray.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we're not always comfortable, and they may have forgotten some really important questions, like are seniors willing to do the running of the Jays?
Oh.
Some of those questions, I think maybe
So-
we glossed over mask requirements at prom.
Yeah.
He had mentioned
Yeah,
them.
he mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost everything that we skipped over, he had already mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I kept signaling to Allison when he had said something like that we didn't have to ask the question.
okay.
Boy, this year really is.
Yeah. So was the one thing about the running the halls?
There are a couple things we could still go over, like summer as well.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys can ask more if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
I see the
Yeah, there you go. A little bonus section.
Bonus.
bonus section. And then I had one just side question.
Yeah.
What's the deal with the ACT Aspire test?
The deal.
Yes, what's the deal with that?
So
what's the plan?
Yep. So the state of Wisconsin. Oh, so you're not talking about why do we do it?
No, I'm just
okay.
talking about like what's the schedule look like, and it's only the freshmen and sophomores, correct?
Yeah. So freshmen and sophomores do the Aspire testing. Sophomores do something called the forward test in addition to. The forward test, well, I'll kind of give you the grand story first. So in Wisconsin, students are required to take state assessments every year, starting in probably kindergarten, maybe kindergarten. But anyways, at the high school, so our freshmen and sophomores take the Aspire test, our sophomores take the 4-hour test, which is basically a standardized test that focuses on social studies. And then our juniors take the ACT, of course. So this year, because of some challenges that we're facing, we are doing the freshman and sophomore Aspire testing on 2 mornings where juniors and seniors are not required to be at school those mornings. And so it'll just be freshmen and sophomores coming for the testing on those 2 dates, and the dates escape me. They're coming up, it feels like maybe the 19th-ish of April, somewhere in that neighborhood. And so that's how that's going to go this year. In the past, we've done it like, well, everybody was here, but we want to try to get just freshmen and sophomores here that day. That's a good question.
All right. Going off of tests and work, do you have any tips or tricks that you would use for finals week that you'd recommend?
Yeah. So I would say here's how finals work, in my opinion. If you're someone who has stayed up on your stuff all the way along, attended your classes, kept your homework current, did your tests on time, if you've done all those things, spend a short time reviewing for your finals because you're set to go. If you're someone who hasn't come to school, hasn't done their homework, hasn't done their tests, spend a short time reviewing for your finals because you're never going to be ready to go. So the key is stay on top of your stuff all along. Each of your individual classes will give you, your teachers will tell you, many of them are actually unit tests. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Just kind of stay on top of your stuff. And if you stay current with all your things, you'll be in great shape for finals. So.
Then as Svitek had brought up, are we doing the running of the seniors this year?
Yeah, so we talked about that this morning to get that set up. So because of the way the finals fall, we will do that at the end of the day on Monday. The day before finals. And so we'll put the word out and seniors can start congregating in the commons, shortly before the end of the day, and we'll do that at the end. I think that's a nice tradition that's gone on here well before I got here, and I think that's something that our seniors deserve, and it'd be great to provide some sense of tradition as we're running through the end of the school year and try to provide some of those things. It's been a tough year to be a student at Merrill High School or anywhere for that matter. And we haven't been able to do a lot of those things. And so, yes, we're going to be doing that at the end of the Monday, feels like the 24th maybe, at the end of the school day.
And I just have 2 additional questions, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are the restrictions on senior pranks? That's my first one. And then if prom is held outside, where would it be held?
I'll start with the prom one. So we have... between the field house and the parking lot, we have that green space. And so that's where that tent will be set up. And so we'd still have access to the lobby for bathrooms and those kind of things. We had to find green space because they got to put these big spikes in and whatever. And so that's where it will go. And the tent will fit in there quite nicely. So that's where the tent will go if we have it outdoors. Senior pranks are kind of tricky because there's a kind of a fine line between a prank and a crime. And so where that line is, you never really know until you cross it. And so my advice to people that are looking for senior pranks is 1, I don't want my custodians to have to clean up. That would be a problem for us. 2, you can't access the building in non-school hours. That would be a crime. And generally, if you have to ask, the answer is probably no. So I mean, that's the unfortunate reality of all this. So I would say use common sense and try to find things that don't cross that line, because unfortunately you won't know it until it's crossed. And what usually happens, so I'll tell you, this is my experience. I've been doing this a long time, whether it's here or other places. Ian has a great idea for a senior prank, and so he shows up and gets a couple of his buddies together. Great, that's good. They're going to do this thing. Well, meanwhile, word travels, and so before you know it, it's you 3 guys, but then 30 other people. The 30 other people take it over the top, and so you got to be really, really smart with what you do if you do anything. And we've had students not be able to participate in graduation ceremonies and different stuff, and pay fines and get in trouble with the police, and it's just not worth it. I mean, there's plenty of things that people can do that that are appropriate. And so, and I would say if you have any doubt, feel free to ask. I mean, people have done that in the past, and we've okayed stuff, and so I think senior pranks are a tradition here, as they are at many places, and I support that. But if it crosses a line, then I obviously can't support that. So. Yeah.
Can you tell us about like how is the end of this school year going to look, and how is that compared to other years? How has it changed?
Well, I think the end of the school year. This school year has been just bizarre, as you guys know. I mean, we're all sitting here talking in masks, which is one thing. So I think it's a matter of we still have a number of kids on virtual, we still have a number of students out on hybrid, and so there's that whole dynamic. Our goal is to try to get back to some sense of normalcy. I know that as we get to the end of the school year, things like prom are so important, graduation, all those kind of things, and it's kind of like, how can we provide those opportunities to seniors? I mean, Ben, you've been robbed. I'll say that term loosely, but you've had a challenging, like a third of your high school career. If you go back to last March, that's a third of your high school career that we haven't done a lot of these things. Next year, I've shared this with the people that next year when we show up for homecoming week, we'll have half of our students have never had a homecoming and don't even know what that is. And so it's like we're kind of in this weird, funky place. So the goal is to make the end of this year as normal as we possibly can through prom and the senior running of the halls and the graduation and all those kind of things. And so that we can kind of finish in a very positive way. Our kids have done great. Our staff has done great. But at times it's felt like kind of like a junior college here. It's like people come in the back door, they go to their classes, they leave, and it's like it feels like a junior college at times. And so we hope to kind of capture some good spirited things and some good traditions here as we come to the end of the year. One of the things we're going to be doing next week is talking to some students. We have an opportunity to kind of rethink some things next year, because we're going to be different next year, because hopefully we're without masks and everybody's face to face and getting back to normal. And so it's like, what are some things that we want to change or bring back, or how do we get people reconnected to school through like offering different activities and clubs and organizations and those kind of things. And so we have an opportunity to kind of retool some things, and that's one of the things that we're going to start having a discussion about next week as far as moving forward. But we hope to try to have the end of the year be as normal as possible. It'd be great if all these things, these big things like prom and graduation happen as planned, and that we're just kind of keeping our fingers crossed for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
No, I mean, one can only hope, because, you're right. I mean, last year, when this first hit, I was never really involved to begin with, but then after it kind of happened, and I kind of started recently getting interested in actually doing these events this year, and I kind of hit me as like, a lot of other kids who probably cared a whole lot more than I am, they probably were really disappointed, to be, basically at the mercy of, that's something that you can't control. And, we do appreciate, though, that all you guys are doing for us, that you're trying so hard to push all these events, because, I said last year, the last seniors really got nothing.
Yeah,
so we do appreciate all the work you've been putting in for us this year.
Well, thank you for saying that. Our staff has really worked super hard, and we want to give everybody the best opportunities we can. And we were all in high school once, and we know how that goes. And so, but I appreciate you saying that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, do you gentlemen have any more questions for Mr. Murray?
I personally don't.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate the time.
thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Hey.
Nice job, Mr. Murray.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.